Welcome to English in Native Voice, where every lesson brings you one step closer to thinking, speaking, and understanding English naturally.
And if you are new here, I want to share something essential with you. We publish powerful English learning lessons every single day to help you elevate your language skills faster and with far greater precision. Now, if you have already watched our B1 to B2 English Shadowing Practice Masterclass, you know just how transformative consistent shadowing can be. Today, we are taking things to the next level because this is a complete B2 to C1 English Shadowing Practice Masterclass. In this lesson, you will not only sharpen your English listening comprehension, but also your spoken fluency, your natural intonation, and your ability to deploy sophisticated vocabulary with confidence and ease in real-world situations. Today, we are exploring the kind of language that sets advanced speakers apart. You will learn how to integrate complex vocabulary and nuanced expressions into authentic daily life contexts. You will practice how to articulate your thoughts precisely, respond instinctively, and communicate with the kind of effortless sophistication that characterizes a truly advanced English speaker. Through immersive shadowing exercises, extended repetition sequences, and carefully constructed real-life examples, you will train your brain to operate in English without conscious effort. Whether you aspire to perform at a high level professionally, engage in sophisticated conversations, or express complex ideas with clarity and authority, this lesson will equip you with everything you need. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss transformative English learning episodes like this. So, take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin. I want you to start this practice by simply absorbing my voice and allowing the cadence of advanced English to resonate within you. Because shadowing at this level is not merely repetition, it is internalizing the architecture of the language, training your cognitive patterns to mirror those of proficient speakers, and developing an instinct for natural expression. So, as we move through this lesson, allow yourself to follow along with ease, without pressure, without judgment, and notice how your English becomes increasingly fluid with every moment you invest here. Right now, picture yourself in a sophisticated daily life scenario. The morning has arrived. Your mind is alert. You pause, breathe, and begin organizing your thoughts in English. Perhaps you are preparing for a demanding meeting. Perhaps you intend to engage in a nuanced discussion with a colleague. Perhaps you want to articulate a complex idea with clarity and elegance. In this lesson, we will rehearse the precise language you need for those elevated moments. So, as you listen, visualize these scenarios unfolding in your own life. Shadow this with me slowly. I am refining my English every single day. I am developing greater confidence and precision. I am expanding my range of expression and communicating with increasing sophistication. Repeat it again, silently or aloud, because affirmations like these condition your mind to engage with language learning from a place of growth and self-assurance. Now, let's transition into our first elevated real-life speaking scenario. Imagine you are at home in the morning, moving through your routine with intention, and narrating your experience in fluent English. Advanced narration is a powerful technique because it conditions your mind to operate in English without the need for mental translation. So listen and repeat after me. I am going about my morning with a sense of purpose. I woke up feeling refreshed and composed. I am preparing myself a warm drink and reflecting on my intentions for the day. I want to communicate more precisely today, and I am fully committed to making progress. These descriptions train your mind to narrate experience naturally and fluidly. Let's go further. Imagine you need to articulate your morning routine to someone in a professional or semi-formal context. Perhaps a new acquaintance, a colleague during small talk, or someone you are getting to know. Listen to this natural example. My morning was quite productive. Actually, I rose fairly early, made a cup of coffee, reviewed a few things I needed to attend to, and gave myself a moment to mentally prepare for the day. Now, shadow this with me slowly, naturally. My morning was quite productive. I rose fairly early. I made coffee. I reviewed my priorities. I gave myself time to prepare. These sentences strike the perfect balance between sophistication and naturalness, making them ideal for real conversational use. Now imagine someone asks you, "How is your English coming along these days?" This is your opportunity to demonstrate genuine command and self-awareness. Listen to this example. My English has been progressing quite steadily. I have been concentrating on broadening my lexical range and articulating myself with greater precision and fluency. Shadow this with me. My English has been progressing quite steadily. I am concentrating on broadening my lexical range and articulating myself with greater precision. These kinds of responses convey not just competence, but intellectual engagement with your own learning. Let's move into another daily scenario. Picture yourself commuting, perhaps walking or traveling to work. The environment is alive with detail, and your mind begins processing it in English. This is an advanced cognitive exercise. Shadow this with me. I am making my way to work right now. The atmosphere is fresh and invigorating. I am contemplating the interactions I will navigate today. I am committed to expressing myself with clarity and intentionality. Allow these phrases to flow through you, feeling their rhythm settle naturally. Now, we will practice sophisticated vocabulary woven into fluid, everyday contexts. These are the words and structures that distinguish a B2 to C1 speaker. Listen to this. Today, I intend to be far more deliberate in my approach to English. I want to attune myself to the nuances of expression that native speakers employ. I want to scrutinize how fluent communicators construct coherent, articulate sentences, and I want to assimilate that vocabulary into my own daily interactions. Now shadow this. Today, I intend to be deliberate. I want to attune myself to nuance. I want to scrutinize fluent communicators. I want to assimilate new vocabulary. These words, deliberate, attune, scrutinize, assimilate, elevate your English immediately and powerfully. Let's add another real conversational situation. Imagine a colleague or acquaintance asks, "How have things been with you lately?" Listen to this polished response. I have been quite well, thank you. I have been investing considerable effort in refining my communication skills and expressing myself with greater confidence across a range of different situations. Now, shadow it with me. I have been quite well. I have been investing effort in refining my communication. I am expressing myself with greater confidence across different situations. This conveys both progress and sophistication with ease. Now imagine you are at a quiet cafe waiting for your order, and you are practicing observational narration. Listen. I am seated in a small cafe at the moment. The ambiance is calm and understated. There is soft music in the background. I am reflecting on my day and using this interlude to practice English in my mind. Now repeat it. I am seated in a small cafe. The ambiance is calm. There is soft music. I am reflecting and using this interlude to practice. This kind of narration builds rhythm, descriptive precision, and a natural observational register. Before we continue, take a measured breath. Release any tension and allow your mind to remain fully present with the language you are absorbing. You are not simply studying, you are rewiring the way you process and produce language. And with every phrase you shadow, you are constructing a more eloquent, more assured English-speaking version of yourself. We will continue moving into more complex daily scenarios, advanced vocabulary in context, and sustained shadowing sequences as we progress. You are doing exceptionally well, and your growth is already underway. As we deepen this practice, I want you to imagine that English is becoming an instinctive space for your thoughts, an arena where ideas emerge without friction, without hesitation, without self-doubt. Many learners at the B2 to C1 level possess a substantial vocabulary, yet struggle to deploy it fluidly under real conversational conditions. That is precisely what we are addressing here, through sustained shadowing, deliberate repetition, and authentic language in realistic contexts. Now, imagine someone asks about your aspirations. You want to respond with authority and poise. Shadow this with me. One of my primary ambitions this year is to communicate in English with a level of fluency and sophistication that feels genuinely natural. I want to articulate my ideas with precision and conviction in any situation, and I want to integrate advanced vocabulary into my daily discourse without effort. Let the words settle. Feel the rhythm, and allow your mind to absorb the structure deeply. Let's go further into the territory of personal development, a subject that advanced English speakers discuss with nuance and depth. Listen carefully. I have been dedicated to elevating my fluency because I want to communicate without interruption or hesitation. I want English to function as an extension of my thinking, as an instinctive part of my everyday cognitive experience. Now, shadow it. I have been dedicated to elevating my fluency. I want English to function as an extension of my thinking, an instinctive part of my daily cognition. These lines build confidence and intellectual clarity simultaneously. Now, imagine a scenario at work or in an academic setting where someone asks how your week has unfolded. You want to respond in a measured, sophisticated way. Shadow this slowly. This week has been remarkably productive. I have been concentrating on refining the precision of my communication and observing how others articulate complex ideas in natural discourse. Words like remarkably, refining, precision, discourse, articulate immediately position your English at an advanced and impressive level. Let's practice emotional vocabulary because the ability to express nuanced feelings is a hallmark of advanced fluency. Listen. I have been feeling increasingly assured of late because my English practice has become more rigorous and consistent. I feel more at ease deploying sophisticated vocabulary and conveying my ideas with genuine clarity. Now, shadow it softly. I have been feeling increasingly assured. My practice has become more rigorous. I feel at ease deploying sophisticated vocabulary. These emotional expressions allow you to speak about your progress with maturity and authenticity. Imagine another scenario. You encounter someone you haven't spoken to in some time, and they ask what you have been occupied with. Listen. I have been keeping myself engaged with both professional commitments and personal development. I have been particularly disciplined about my English practice because I want to communicate with precision and authority in every interaction. Shadow it now. I have been engaged with professional commitments and personal development. I have been disciplined about my English practice. I want to communicate with precision and authority. These are the kinds of sentences that leave a lasting impression. Now let's shift into advanced vocabulary embedded within natural conversational flow. Listen carefully. Recently, I have been dedicating considerable attention to refining my listening comprehension by attuning myself to the intonation, rhythm, and register of sophisticated English discourse. I have found that with more focused listening, I grasp subtleties more readily and respond with noticeably greater confidence. Shadow it gently. I have been refining my listening comprehension, attuning myself to intonation and rhythm. I grasp subtleties more readily. I respond with greater confidence. Words like attuning, subtleties, readily, comprehension instantly elevate your spoken register. Now, picture yourself in a conversation where someone asks, "What are you currently prioritizing in your English development?" Listen to this articulate, advanced response. I am prioritizing the expansion of my lexical range and the enhancement of my spoken fluency. I am actively incorporating expressions that feel natural in spontaneous conversation so that I can communicate with both precision and ease. Now, shadow it with me. I am prioritizing lexical expansion, enhancement of spoken fluency, incorporating expressions for spontaneous conversation. These are polished, professional-sounding structures that are ideal for B2 to C1 learners. Now, let's practice describing your daily rhythm again, this time using more sophisticated discourse markers and connectors. Listen closely. My schedule has been fairly well balanced of late. I have been managing my time with greater intentionality, and I am making a conscious effort to weave English into the fabric of my daily routine. Even during mundane moments like commuting, preparing meals, or unwinding, I try to maintain an internal dialogue in English. Now, shadow it. My schedule has been well balanced. I am managing time with intentionality. I weave English into my daily routine. Even in mundane moments, I maintain an internal dialogue. This fluency becomes deeply embedded through this kind of consistent practice. Now, imagine someone asks, "What sustains your motivation to keep developing your English?" This is your opportunity to articulate your drive with sophistication. Listen. I am driven by the prospect of becoming a truly compelling communicator. I want to articulate my ideas with clarity and conviction, engage in substantive conversations, and comprehend others with precision and without ambiguity. Shadow it slowly. I am driven by the prospect of becoming a compelling communicator. I want to articulate with clarity and conviction. I want to engage substantively. I want to comprehend without ambiguity. These are powerful, expressive sentences. Now, let's move into a longer shadowing exercise. Listen to this in its entirety first. Each day, I make a deliberate effort to expose myself to new dimensions of the English language. At times, I engage with complex conversations. At times, I read substantive texts. And at times, I practice speaking independently with intention and focus. I have come to understand that sustained commitment is the cornerstone of advancement, and even brief but purposeful moments of practice can yield a profound difference in fluency over time. Now, shadow it slowly. Each day, I expose myself to new dimensions of English. I engage with complex conversations. I read substantive texts. I practice speaking with intention. Commitment is the cornerstone. Even brief moments yield profound differences. Allow this rhythm to integrate fully. Now, imagine you are with someone who wants to understand why fluency matters so deeply to you. Listen to this articulate response. Fluency is fundamental to me because I want to forge genuine connections with people across cultures and backgrounds. I want to convey my ideas with impact, comprehend others with depth, and express myself without constraint or hesitation. Now, shadow it. Fluency is fundamental. I want to forge genuine connections. I want to convey ideas with impact. I want to express myself without constraint. These lines enable you to speak with both purpose and emotional resonance. Now, I want you to engage in a more reflective shadowing practice. Listen. When I contemplate my English journey, I feel a genuine sense of accomplishment about the ground I have covered. I recall the periods when even straightforward sentences felt laborious. And now, I can express myself with considerably more nuance and sophistication. Shadow it gently. I feel a genuine sense of accomplishment. I recall when simple sentences felt laborious. Now I express myself with nuance and sophistication. These reflections cultivate self-awareness and advance your fluency simultaneously. We are building layer by layer, thought by thought, structure by structure, so that your English becomes not only more natural, but more precise and more expressive with every repetition. As you continue listening, I want you to observe how the language is beginning to inhabit your mind more comfortably. You are no longer compelling yourself to think in English. You are permitting English to emerge in your thoughts organically and effortlessly. This is the true power of sustained shadowing at an advanced level, training your mind, your ear, and your voice to move together in seamless harmony. And the more consistently you practice, the more instinctive it all becomes. Now, imagine a situation in which you are introducing yourself in a polished, sophisticated manner. Listen, I am someone who is deeply committed to continuous growth and self-improvement, and developing my English is central to that commitment. I believe that strong communicative ability opens exceptional opportunities, and so I practice with discipline and genuine enthusiasm. Shadow it slowly. I am committed to continuous growth. Developing my English is central to that. Strong communication opens exceptional opportunities. I practice with discipline and enthusiasm. These lines convey both intellectual maturity and personal integrity. Let's explore another daily life moment. You are in conversation with a colleague who asks how you structure your time effectively. Listen to this sophisticated response. I have been approaching my schedule with considerably more discipline recently. I break my responsibilities into manageable components so that I can remain focused and prevent myself from becoming overwhelmed by competing demands. Shadow it now. I approach my schedule with discipline. I break responsibilities into manageable components. I remain focused. I prevent feeling overwhelmed. These phrases are invaluable in both professional and personal contexts. Now, imagine someone asks about your approach to English learning in depth. Listen carefully. I try to engage with a diverse range of modalities: immersive listening, extensive reading, deliberate shadowing, and spontaneous speaking. I have observed that combining these approaches enables me to internalize English far more deeply and retain sophisticated vocabulary with much greater accuracy. Now, shadow it gently. I engage with diverse modalities: listening, reading, shadowing, speaking. I internalize English more deeply. I retain vocabulary with greater accuracy. This communicates your learning strategy with clarity and intelligence. Let's do another extended daily life shadowing exercise. Imagine you are taking an evening stroll along a quiet street. The atmosphere is still, the air is cool, and you are processing your day with reflective thought. Listen, I am taking an unhurried walk right now, simply absorbing the tranquility of the evening. The surroundings are serene, and I am using this contemplative moment to engage with English in my mind. I am reviewing the events of my day and considering how I might approach tomorrow with even greater intentionality. Now, shadow this with me. I am taking an unhurried walk. I am absorbing the tranquility. The surroundings are serene. I am using this moment to engage with English. I am reflecting on my day and preparing for tomorrow. These reflective phrases develop a calm, articulate speaking rhythm. Now, let's practice sophisticated discourse connectors. These enable you to express ideas with greater fluency and coherence. Listen carefully. Even when I encounter unfamiliar vocabulary or complex structures, I endeavor to maintain a constructive mindset and persevere with my practice. Provided that I remain committed to the process, I am confident that my fluency and confidence will continue to develop. Shadow it. Even when I struggle, I maintain a constructive mindset. Provided I remain committed, my fluency will continue to develop. These structures mark you immediately as an advanced and articulate speaker. Now imagine you are describing a recent learning experience, something meaningful, something that genuinely contributed to your development. Listen. Recently, I engaged with an in-depth English interview and consciously directed my attention to the register, rhetorical choices, and expressive techniques the speakers employed. It proved to be an extraordinarily effective method for deepening my understanding of sophisticated natural English. Shadow it gently. I engaged with an in-depth interview. I directed attention to register, rhetorical choices, expressive technique. It deepened my understanding of natural English profoundly. These patterns cultivate a more perceptive and analytical speaking style. Now, let's develop a shadowing practice around personal motivation. Listen carefully. I am committed to continuing my English development because I derive genuine satisfaction from expressing myself eloquently in another language. I find it deeply rewarding to encounter unfamiliar expressions and deploy them with precision. It reinforces my confidence and instills a profound sense of accomplishment. Shadow it slowly. I derive genuine satisfaction from expressing myself eloquently. I find it rewarding to deploy new expressions with precision. It reinforces my confidence. It instills a sense of accomplishment. These emotional sentences give your English authenticity and depth. Imagine another scenario. Someone asks how you sustain your consistency. Listen. I try to integrate English seamlessly into the texture of my everyday existence. Even routine moments, commuting, preparing food, or simply resting, become opportunities to engage with the language through listening, internal reflection, or spontaneous speech. Now shadow it. I integrate English into the texture of my life. Routine moments become opportunities. I listen. I reflect. I speak. This is genuine advanced fluency in practice. Let's practice articulating your progress in a more sophisticated register. Listen. I have observed that the more consistently I engage with the language, the more naturally it comes to me. My sentences emerge with greater ease. I hesitate considerably less, and I feel markedly more confident expressing myself in a range of social and professional contexts. Now, shadow it. I feel more natural with the language. My sentences emerge with greater ease. I hesitate less. I feel markedly more confident. These observations allow you to speak about your development with impressive clarity. Let's move into another advanced daily life shadowing example. Today, I directed my focus toward immersive listening in authentic conversational contexts. I attuned myself to the pauses, the emphatic stress, and the way speakers weave their ideas into coherent, flowing discourse. It enriched my understanding of how natural English truly functions beyond the conventions of formal study. Shadow it. I focused on immersive listening. I attuned myself to pauses, stress, and cohesive discourse. I understand how natural English truly functions. These nuances transform your comprehension and speaking ability profoundly. Now, imagine you are articulating your long-term vision. Listen. My long-term ambition is to communicate with genuine fluency and sophistication in any context that demands it. I want to express complex ideas instinctively and draw upon an extensive repertoire of vocabulary without conscious effort. Now shadow it. My ambition is fluency and sophistication in any context. I want to express complex ideas instinctively. I want to draw upon an extensive vocabulary without effort. This allows you to voice your aspirations with impressive authority. Now let's add another extended shadowing exercise to consolidate your rhythm. I sometimes develop my fluency by engaging in deliberate, self-directed conversation. I articulate what I am observing, how I am feeling, or what I am contemplating. It accelerates my cognitive processing in English and gradually transforms the language into an organic part of my daily mental routine. Shadow slowly. I engage in deliberate, self-directed conversation. I articulate what I observe, what I feel, what I contemplate. It accelerates my processing. English becomes organic. This is one of the most powerful fluency development techniques available to you. You are making extraordinary progress. And with every sentence you shadow, your brain is forging stronger and more sophisticated English patterns. Patterns you will access instinctively in real conversations. You are not merely learning English. You are training yourself to inhabit English. As you continue practicing with me, I want you to observe something significant. Your mind is beginning to align itself more naturally with the rhythm of English. You are not simply repeating sentences. You are conditioning your thoughts to flow in English. This is the stage where genuine fluency begins to emerge within you, gradually, quietly, and with growing momentum. And every moment you spend listening and shadowing adds another powerful layer to your linguistic confidence. Now, imagine someone asks, "What sustains your motivation when language learning becomes demanding?" Listen to this advanced and nuanced response. I remain motivated because I can perceive my own progression with increasing clarity. I comprehend more. I articulate myself more precisely, and I deploy sophisticated vocabulary with noticeably greater ease and fluency. Now, shadow it with me. I remain motivated because I perceive my progression. I comprehend more. I articulate more precisely. I deploy vocabulary with greater ease. These lines allow you to express your learning mindset with real sophistication. Let's practice another daily life scene. You are at your desk, pausing between tasks, allowing yourself to reflect on your development. Listen. Occasionally, I pause to appreciate how substantially I have progressed. I recall the periods when English felt genuinely demanding, and now I can articulate my perspective with considerably greater ease and conviction. Now, shadow it slowly. I pause to appreciate my progress. English felt demanding before. Now I articulate with greater ease and conviction. This reflective register makes you sound impressively expressive and emotionally connected. Now, imagine you are explaining why shadowing is such a valuable technique. Listen to this considered example. Shadowing is invaluable to me because it conditions my mind to process English intuitively. I do not merely acquire new expressions in isolation. I develop the capacity to deploy them spontaneously in authentic conversational situations without hesitation. Now, shadow. Shadowing conditions my mind to process English intuitively. I develop the capacity to deploy expressions spontaneously. I speak without hesitation. These structures enable you to discuss your learning approach with intelligence and insight. Let's explore another daily life situation. You are composing a message to a friend to summarize your day. Listen closely. Today was genuinely productive. I fulfilled my commitments on schedule, dedicated time to my English practice, and allowed myself a few restorative moments throughout the day. Now, shadow it. Today was genuinely productive. I fulfilled my commitments. I dedicated time to English practice. I allowed myself restorative moments. These sentences reflect the kind of sophisticated yet natural conversational tone characteristic of B2 to C1 speakers. Now, imagine you are engaging with someone about the complexities of language learning. Listen to this thoughtful and nuanced example. There are occasions when certain idiomatic expressions or regional accents present a genuine challenge, but I endeavor to remain patient and persistent. I remind myself that every difficulty represents an opportunity to refine my understanding and deepen my competence. Now, shadow it. Some expressions and accents challenge me, but I remain patient and persistent. Every difficulty is an opportunity to refine and deepen my competence. This conveys both intellectual maturity and personal resilience. Let's return to emotional vocabulary because the ability to articulate feelings with precision is fundamental to natural advanced fluency. Listen, there are days when I feel somewhat fatigued or mentally depleted, but I nonetheless commit to even a brief period of English engagement. Even modest effort sustains my momentum and keeps me on a consistent trajectory. Now, shadow. I feel fatigued sometimes, depleted, but I commit to brief engagement. Modest effort sustains my momentum. This is how accomplished learners articulate their genuine experience. Now, imagine another shadowing scenario. You are preparing dinner and choosing to narrate the experience. Listen. I am cooking at the moment. The kitchen is filled with warm and enticing aromas. I am reflecting on the day's events and simultaneously engaging with English in my mind. Now shadow it. I am cooking. The aromas are warm and enticing. I am reflecting on the day. I am simultaneously engaging with English. Everyday narration develops natural fluency with remarkable effectiveness. Now, let's combine sophisticated vocabulary with authentic daily scenarios. Listen. I am committed to cultivating greater consistency and discipline in my approach to English practice. Even when my schedule becomes demanding, I endeavor to maintain a structured and purposeful routine. Now, shadow. I am cultivating consistency and discipline. I maintain a structured and purposeful routine. Words like cultivating, endeavor, structured, purposeful elevate your spoken register immediately and powerfully. Now imagine the close of a demanding day as you take stock of your experience. I feel a degree of fatigue, but also genuine satisfaction. I gave the day my full commitment, and I am proud of the incremental progress I continue to make. Now, shadow. I feel fatigue, but genuine satisfaction. I gave my full commitment. I am proud of my incremental progress. These reflective and emotionally intelligent lines develop a deeper fluency. Now, let's practice responding to someone who asks how your English is evolving. Listen. I feel as though my English is becoming considerably more refined. I am making more deliberate lexical choices, expressing myself with greater authority, and comprehending conversations with noticeably more ease and speed. Now, shadow. My English is becoming more refined. I make deliberate lexical choices. I express myself with authority. I comprehend with greater ease and speed. These patterns demonstrate real and impressive advancement. Now, imagine you want to articulate a sense of gratitude for your learning journey. Listen. I am genuinely appreciative of every opportunity I have to engage with the language. Even the most brief interaction contributes to my growth and moves me closer to becoming a more accomplished communicator. Now, shadow it. I appreciate every opportunity to engage with the language. Every interaction contributes to my growth. I am becoming a more accomplished communicator. This adds emotional depth and eloquence to your expression. Let's move into a slightly extended practice to build your listening endurance. Listen fully first. There are moments when I contemplate the transformative potential of fluency. I will be able to communicate with far greater freedom, navigate unfamiliar environments with confidence, and connect with people from diverse backgrounds without any sense of inhibition or limitation. That vision is a source of profound daily motivation. Now, shadow. When I become fluent, I will communicate with greater freedom, navigate confidently, connect without inhibition. That vision motivates me profoundly. This kind of aspirational language reinforces your focus and commitment. Now, imagine we enter a calm and introspective moment. Listen. Right now, I am allowing myself a quiet interval of reflection. I am seated in stillness, listening and allowing the English language to permeate my awareness. There is no urgency. I simply need to remain present and maintain my commitment to practice. Shadow it gently. I am allowing myself a quiet interval of reflection. I am seated in stillness. English permeates my awareness. There is no urgency. I remain present. I maintain my commitment. This cultivates a composed and fluid speaking rhythm. Everything you are shadowing right now is building genuine long-term fluency. Your pronunciation, your vocabulary, your confidence, all are developing steadily and with real depth. And with every sentence, you are becoming an increasingly articulate and assured communicator. As we move forward, I want you to continue observing how your mind is gradually adapting to English. You are not simply memorizing sentences, you are developing a natural rhythm, a linguistic intuition that becomes more accessible with every moment you invest in shadowing. The more you listen, the more your brain begins to anticipate patterns, absorb nuance, and internalize the architecture of English from within. This is how authentic fluency truly develops, not in sudden breakthroughs, but in consistent, incremental layers of depth. Now, imagine you are in a conversation and someone asks what you find most rewarding about learning English. Listen to this articulate and genuine response. I find it profoundly rewarding because English gives me access to an extraordinary range of perspectives and ideas. I appreciate discovering sophisticated expressions, understanding how complex sentences are constructed, and deploying that knowledge with precision in real conversations. Now shadow it slowly. I find it profoundly rewarding. English gives me access to extraordinary perspectives. I appreciate discovering sophisticated expressions. I understand how complex sentences are constructed. I deploy that knowledge with precision. These lines convey intelligence, depth, and genuine engagement. Let's practice another daily life moment. You are returning to your room at the end of a full and demanding day, processing everything you have experienced. Listen. I am finally allowing myself a moment of genuine rest. Today was rich with tasks, interactions, and learning opportunities, and I feel a real sense of pride in having remained committed to my English practice throughout. Now, shadow it with me. I am allowing myself a moment of genuine rest. Today was rich with tasks, interactions, learning. I feel pride in having remained committed. Articulating your day in this way cultivates expressive storytelling fluency. Now, imagine someone asks about the development of your listening comprehension. Listen. My listening comprehension has been advancing significantly because I have been paying closer attention to intonation, prosody, and the natural rhythm of authentic discourse. I am learning to focus on meaning rather than getting caught up in decoding every individual word. Shadow it. My listening is advancing significantly. I attend to intonation, prosody, natural rhythm. I focus on meaning rather than decoding every word. This marks you immediately as a sophisticated and analytical language learner. Let's explore a moment in which you experience a genuine breakthrough, perhaps understanding something that once seemed entirely inaccessible. Listen closely. Today, I comprehended an exchange that would previously have felt beyond my reach, and that moment filled me with a profound sense of confidence and exhilaration. It served as a vivid reminder that progress is perpetual, even when it is not immediately perceptible. Now, shadow it gently. I comprehended something that felt beyond my reach. It filled me with confidence and exhilaration. Progress is perpetual, even when imperceptible. These expressions reflect genuine emotional maturity in English. Now, picture yourself organizing your thoughts in preparation for an important day ahead, perhaps a significant professional event, an academic commitment, or a personal challenge. Listen, I am composing my thoughts in preparation for tomorrow. I want to communicate with clarity and composure, and I know that today's focused practice will meaningfully enhance my ability to express myself. Now, shadow. I am composing my thoughts for tomorrow. I want to communicate with clarity and composure. Today's practice will meaningfully enhance my expression. This connects your daily effort directly to your advancing fluency. Let's practice a more advanced vocabulary sequence. Listen. I am becoming increasingly attuned to the intricacies of how English functions. I am recognizing recurring syntactic patterns, identifying idiomatic expressions, and comprehending authentic conversations with greater instinctiveness and ease. Now, shadow. I am attuned to the intricacies of English. I recognize syntactic patterns. I identify idiomatic expressions. I comprehend authentic conversations instinctively. These are exceptional phrases for describing your learning journey with sophistication and depth. Now imagine you are encouraging someone else to pursue English at an advanced level. Listen. I consistently convey to others that developing English is a meaningful and worthwhile journey. It demands patience, sustained commitment, and a genuinely constructive mindset. But every stage of that journey brings you measurably closer to genuine communicative mastery. Now shadow it softly. Developing English is a meaningful journey. It demands patience, commitment, a constructive mindset. Every stage brings me closer to communicative mastery. These lines build both confidence and an articulate speaking rhythm. Now, let's go into another extended descriptive shadowing exercise. There are moments during my practice when I sit in quiet stillness and allow the language to wash through me. I attend to the sounds, feel the cadence of each sentence, and follow along without resistance or anxiety. It enables me to relax and absorb simultaneously. Now shadow it. I sit in stillness. I let the language wash through me. I feel the cadence of each sentence. I follow without resistance. I relax and absorb. This deepens your sensitivity to the language at an advanced level. Now imagine you are reflecting on your identity as a committed and sophisticated learner. Listen. I am becoming the kind of person who approaches learning with intellectual curiosity, who derives genuine pleasure from exploring complex ideas, and who feels a deep sense of pride at every meaningful step forward. English is becoming an integral dimension of my identity, not merely a skill I am in the process of acquiring. Now shadow it. I approach learning with intellectual curiosity. I explore complex ideas with genuine pleasure. English is an integral dimension of my identity. This enables you to speak about yourself in an impressively expressive and advanced manner. Let's explore a moment of deep focus, perhaps during a quiet evening when the distractions of the day have faded. Listen. The house is tranquil right now, and I am making the most of this undisturbed interval to engage fully with my English. When the environment is calm, it becomes considerably easier to focus with sustained attention and deep concentration. Now shadow it. The house is tranquil. I am making the most of this undisturbed interval. It is easier to focus with sustained attention. I engage with deep concentration. This cultivates a sense of presence and intentional engagement. Now imagine someone asks what kind of English you ultimately aspire to speak. Listen. I aspire to speak English that sounds genuinely natural, effortlessly confident, and intellectually compelling. I want to express myself with fluency and precision, without pausing to search for the right expression. Now, shadow. I aspire to sound natural, effortlessly confident, intellectually compelling. I want to express myself with fluency and precision. These aspirations give shape and clarity to your speaking goals. Now, let's practice a more extended and connected thought. With every shadowing repetition, my cognitive processing accelerates. With every phrase I internalize, my mouth becomes increasingly comfortable with the phonological patterns. And with every session I complete, I move perceptibly closer to authentic fluency. Now shadow it. With every repetition, my processing accelerates. With every phrase, my mouth grows more comfortable. With every session, I move closer to authentic fluency. This reinforces progress through powerful and structured repetition. Now, imagine you are closing your day with one final reflective moment. Listen. I am concluding my day with a gentle and purposeful English practice. It is deeply satisfying to acknowledge that even a few well-intentioned minutes can meaningfully advance my fluency. Shadow it. I am concluding my day with purposeful practice. It is deeply satisfying. A few well-intentioned minutes meaningfully advance my fluency. This anchors your commitment to consistent growth. You are making extraordinary progress. Your fluency is advancing sentence by sentence, and the more you persist, the more sophisticated your English becomes. You are building confidence, precision, rhythm, and natural expression with every moment you invest in this practice. As we continue, I want you to feel how your assurance is steadily rising. Your listening comprehension is becoming more acute. Your understanding is becoming more nuanced, and your expressive flow is becoming more effortless with each new sentence. This is the quiet transformation that takes place when you show up for your English practice with genuine commitment. You do not need to be flawless. You simply need to be consistent. And consistency is precisely what you are cultivating right now. Now, imagine you are in a conversation and someone asks how you maintain concentration while developing your English. Listen to this fluent and composed response. I maintain focus by setting clear and achievable micro goals. I do not impose unrealistic expectations on myself. I simply engage with intention each day and trust that the cumulative effect of consistent practice will deliver results. Now, shadow it gently. I maintain focus with clear micro goals. I do not impose unrealistic expectations. I practice with intention each day. I trust the cumulative effect. These lines convey composure and wisdom in equal measure. Now, imagine you are sitting outdoors, perhaps in a park or an open space, allowing your thoughts to flow freely in English. Listen. Right now, I am appreciating the fresh air and contemplating the extent of my development. I comprehend a significantly broader range of expressions. I communicate with noticeably greater confidence, and I feel a genuine and growing connection to the language. Now, shadow it. I am appreciating the fresh air. I have developed substantially. I comprehend more. I communicate with greater confidence. I feel a genuine connection to the language. This develops your capacity for emotional and descriptive fluency. Now, let's explore a moment when someone acknowledges the quality of your English. Listen. Thank you sincerely. That is genuinely encouraging. I have been practicing with real consistency, and I am making a conscious effort to incorporate more natural and sophisticated expressions into my everyday communication. Now, shadow it. Thank you sincerely. It is genuinely encouraging. I practice with consistency. I incorporate natural and sophisticated expressions. These are highly effective real-life responses. Imagine now that you are offering encouragement to a fellow learner who is feeling discouraged. Listen. Please do not be disheartened by the occasional setback. Challenges are an inherent part of the acquisition process. They sharpen your comprehension, deepen your understanding, and ultimately make you a more resilient and capable communicator. Now, shadow it softly. Do not be disheartened by setbacks. Challenges are inherent to the process. They sharpen comprehension. They deepen understanding. They make you more resilient. Encouraging others in sophisticated language strengthens your own communicative confidence considerably. Now, picture yourself articulating your learning methodology. Listen. I try to integrate English organically throughout the rhythm of my day. I listen attentively while engaged in household tasks. I maintain an internal English dialogue while commuting, and I occasionally engage in deliberate, self-directed speech when I have a private moment. Now, shadow it. I integrate English organically. I listen attentively during tasks. I maintain an internal dialogue while commuting. I engage in deliberate, self-directed speech. These are the authentic strategies that accelerate your brain's adaptation to English. Let's develop another daily life scene. You are on your way to work or to an appointment, considering how you want to engage with people. Listen. I am walking with intention and reflecting on how I want to communicate today. I want to articulate myself with precision. Listen with genuine attention and incorporate sophisticated vocabulary whenever the opportunity presents itself. Now, shadow. I am walking with intention. I want to articulate with precision. I want to listen with genuine attention. I want to incorporate sophisticated vocabulary. This develops deliberate and purposeful speaking patterns. Now imagine someone invites your reflection on your progress. Listen. I feel genuine satisfaction because I am advancing step by step. Even on days when my practice is brief, I remain mentally engaged with English throughout. Now, shadow. I feel genuine satisfaction. I advance step by step. I remain mentally engaged with English throughout. These emotional reflections cultivate a deeper and more integrated fluency. Now, let's include a slightly more demanding practice to elevate your listening capacity. Recently, I have been developing a more sophisticated awareness of how accomplished speakers present themselves. I pay attention to their pacing, their strategic use of pause, and the rhythmic precision with which they deliver their ideas. And I endeavor to internalize those patterns in my own expression. Now, shadow it slowly. I am developing sophisticated awareness. I pay attention to pacing, strategic pauses, rhythmic precision. I internalize those patterns. This kind of shadowing builds a genuinely native-like register. Now, picture yourself in a serene environment, perhaps by a window or in a comfortable chair. Listen. This moment is one of genuine tranquility, and I am using it with full intention to engage with English. I am not rushing. I am not under any pressure. I am simply giving myself the space and time I need to develop. Now shadow it. This moment is genuinely tranquil. I use it with full intention. I am not rushing. I am not under pressure. I am giving myself space to develop. This builds a gentle and deeply rooted fluency. Now, imagine someone raises what you find most challenging in English. Listen. There are occasions when extended discourse presents a challenge because I feel compelled to respond quickly. But I remind myself that taking a considered pause is entirely appropriate. Clarity and coherence are always more valuable than speed. Now, shadow. Extended discourse sometimes challenges me. I remind myself a considered pause is appropriate. Clarity and coherence are more valuable than speed. This is an essential and sophisticated perspective for advanced communication. Now, let's go into another sustained shadowing practice. When I engage with English, I prioritize overall meaning and communicative intent rather than becoming preoccupied with individual lexical items. When I adopt this approach, discourse becomes considerably easier to follow, and I feel substantially more confident navigating a variety of accents and speaking styles. Now, shadow. I prioritize overall meaning and communicative intent. Discourse becomes easier to follow. I feel substantially more confident. This builds advanced and strategic listening comprehension. Imagine now you are concluding your evening with a final reflective English practice. Listen. I am unwinding for the evening, and I feel a genuine sense of satisfaction that I engaged with English today. Even these brief but purposeful moments help me sustain the discipline and motivation that drive my progress. Now, shadow. I am unwinding. I feel genuine satisfaction that I engaged with English. Brief but purposeful moments sustain my discipline and motivation. This reinforces your commitment to consistency. Now, let's practice articulating long-term development once more. Listen. The more I listen, the more acutely I comprehend. The more I speak, the more assured I become. And the more I practice, the closer I draw to the standard of fluency I am working toward. Shadow it gently. The more I listen, the more acutely I comprehend. The more I speak, the more assured I become. The more I practice, the closer I draw to genuine fluency. This repetition builds a formidable and deeply rooted mental foundation. You are doing magnificently. Every minute you invest in shadowing these sentences brings you measurably closer to natural, confident, nuanced English. And your progress is already evident through your commitment and presence here. As we continue practicing together, I want you to feel how English is gradually becoming a familiar and intuitive space for your thoughts. Your comprehension is deepening. Your expressive rhythm is becoming steadier, and your confidence is rising steadily within you. This is the outcome of sustained exposure, deliberate shadowing, and engagement with authentic language patterns. And you are training your mind to trust its own ability more powerfully with every passing moment. Now, imagine you are in a fluent exchange and someone asks how English has integrated itself into your daily experience. Listen to this authentic response. English has become an almost imperceptible thread woven through my daily existence. I draw upon it when I think, when I observe my surroundings, and sometimes when I engage in deliberate internal monologue. It enables me to remain connected to the language in a manner that feels entirely natural and effortless. Now, shadow it softly. English is woven through my daily existence. I draw upon it when I think, observe, and reflect internally. I remain connected in a way that feels effortless. These lines reflect the kind of deep integration that defines genuine fluency. Now, imagine you are articulating why sustained practice is so fundamentally important. Listen. I have come to understand that consistency is infinitely more valuable than sporadic intensity. Even a few minutes of purposeful engagement each day keeps my cognitive relationship with English active and continues to propel my development. Now, shadow. Consistency is infinitely more valuable than sporadic intensity. A few purposeful minutes keep my relationship with English active. They continue to propel my development. These patterns reflect genuine linguistic and intellectual maturity. Now, let's construct a calm daily life scene to practice descriptive and atmospheric expression. Perhaps you are seated by a window as the early morning light begins to emerge. Listen. I am seated by the window at this early hour, allowing myself a moment of genuine stillness. The light is soft and diffuse. The atmosphere is calm and refreshing, and I am permitting myself to enjoy this quiet interval while simultaneously engaging with English. Now, shadow gently. I am seated by the window. The light is soft and diffuse. The atmosphere is calm. I enjoy this quiet interval. I engage with English. These sentences develop a sophisticated and atmospheric descriptive ability. Imagine now that someone asks how you respond in moments when you lose a word or feel uncertain. Listen closely. When I lose a word or feel momentarily uncertain, I consciously resist the urge to panic. I take a measured pause, reformulate using an alternative expression, and continue with composure. The priority is always effective communication rather than lexical precision. Now, shadow. I resist the urge to panic. I take a measured pause. I reformulate using an alternative expression. Effective communication is always the priority. These lines develop emotional intelligence and advanced speaking strategy simultaneously. Now, let's go into another sophisticated and reflective practice. Recently, I have been observing a meaningful increase in my confidence. I am considerably less inhibited by the fear of error and considerably more inclined to speak even in moments of genuine uncertainty. Witnessing that shift in myself is a source of real and justified pride. Now, shadow it slowly. My confidence is increasing meaningfully. I am less inhibited. I am more inclined to speak in uncertainty. That shift is a source of justified pride. This kind of introspection builds genuine emotional fluency. Now, imagine a moment in which you are watching fluent speakers perform or converse in English, maybe in a documentary, a lecture, or a professional setting. Listen. I find it genuinely instructive to observe how accomplished speakers express themselves, the precision of their diction, the authority of their tone, the strategic deployment of pause and emphasis. Every element offers a lesson in sophisticated communication. Now, shadow. I observe accomplished speakers. I notice precision of diction, authority of tone, strategic deployment of pause. Every element offers a lesson. This deepens your analytical and expressive awareness. Now practice another daily life narration. You are preparing for your day, organizing yourself with intention. Listen. I am preparing for the day ahead, and as I organize my things and collect my thoughts, I am engaging with English silently, rehearsing structures, anticipating exchanges, and readying myself to communicate with confidence and clarity. Now, shadow. I am preparing for the day. I organize my things. I engage with English silently. I rehearse structures. I anticipate exchanges. I prepare myself to communicate confidently. This builds powerful internal fluency. Now imagine someone invites you to share what you find most fulfilling about English expression. Listen. What I find most fulfilling is the experience of articulating myself clearly and concisely, finding precisely the right expression and having it land exactly as intended. That moment of communicative success is deeply empowering. Now, shadow. I find it fulfilling to articulate clearly and concisely. Finding the right expression and having it land as intended is deeply empowering. Fluency deepens through emotional connection like this. Now, let's add another advanced practice for deeper comprehension. One significant insight I have gained is that fluency is not synonymous with speed. It is the capacity to communicate with clarity, to express complex ideas with confidence, and to connect your thoughts in a coherent and natural flow. Speed emerges in due course, but clarity and coherence must come first. Now, shadow. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is clarity, confidence, coherent connection of thought. This builds professional-level linguistic understanding. Now, imagine you are resting after a demanding day and taking stock of your experience. Listen. I am resting now, and I feel a genuine sense of satisfaction that I maintained my practice even when I was feeling the strain of the day. These small acts of discipline are a testament to my commitment, and they reinforce my sense of purpose. Now, shadow. I am resting. I maintained practice even through the strain. These acts of discipline are a testament to my commitment. I feel a reinforced sense of purpose. Reflective practice deepens fluency in a lasting and meaningful way. Let's continue with another realistic scenario. Someone invites your reflection on overcoming the fear of speaking. Listen. I try to remind myself that occasional errors are not only inevitable, but instructive. Every speaker learns through real communicative experience. And every time I commit to speaking, I move perceptibly closer to fluency, to confidence, and to authentic self-expression. Now, shadow. Errors are inevitable and instructive. I learn through real communicative experience. Each time I speak, I move closer to fluency and authentic self-expression. These are essential affirmations for advanced and emotionally intelligent language use. Now, imagine you are reflecting on your progress as you make your way home. Listen, I am walking with a quiet sense of satisfaction and contemplating how substantially my English has developed. I comprehend more complex discourse. I recognize a far broader range of expressions, and I feel genuinely at ease speaking now. Shadow. I am walking with satisfaction. My English has developed substantially. I comprehend more complex discourse. I feel genuinely at ease. This builds composed narrative fluency. Now, let's practice a more emotionally resonant and introspective sequence. Developing English has cultivated in me a profound patience. It has taught me to trust in the process, to believe in the validity of gradual progress, and to maintain my commitment even when advancement feels elusive. Now, shadow. English has cultivated profound patience in me. It has taught me to trust the process, believe in gradual progress, and maintain commitment even when advancement feels elusive. These reflections enable you to speak with sincerity and genuine depth. You are doing beautifully. Your fluency is developing gradually, authentically, and with impressive power through these sustained and immersive shadowing sessions. With every moment you commit to this practice, you are constructing a more eloquent and assured English-speaking version of yourself. As we continue this journey together, I want you to feel how English is slowly becoming part of your inner voice. You are not simply repeating sentences, you are forging a new mode of thinking, a calmer, more precise, more confident version of how you communicate and express yourself. And every sentence you shadow consolidates that version a little more powerfully. You are learning to trust your voice, trust your comprehension, and trust your capacity to communicate with genuine clarity and sophistication. Now, imagine someone asks how English is woven into the fabric of your daily life. Listen to this natural and articulate response. English has become an almost invisible but constant presence throughout my day. I draw upon it when I think, when I plan, and even when I mentally rehearse future conversations. It keeps me organically connected to the language at all times. Shadow it. English is a constant and invisible presence. I use it when I think, when I plan, when I rehearse future conversations. I stay organically connected. This conveys thoughtfulness and a deeply integrated fluency. Now, picture yourself composing yourself before an important English interaction, perhaps a formal meeting, a presentation, or a significant conversation with someone you respect. Listen, before a demanding interaction, I make a point of grounding myself in composure. I take a deliberate breath, organize my thoughts with clarity, and remind myself that my practice has prepared me for exactly this moment. Now, shadow. I ground myself in composure. I take a deliberate breath. I organize my thoughts. I trust that my practice has prepared me. These lines build genuine confidence and emotional control. Now, imagine you are observing your own development with increasing clarity. Listen, I can perceive my own advancement with greater objectivity now. I formulate responses more efficiently. I comprehend more instinctively, and I feel noticeably more assured when articulating my ideas. Now, shadow. I perceive my advancement with objectivity. I formulate responses more efficiently. I comprehend instinctively. I feel assured when articulating my ideas. This allows you to express your progress with real sophistication. Let's practice describing a small but significant daily moment. Listen. This morning, I sat in quiet reflection with my coffee and used that interval with genuine intention to engage with English. Even a brief period of deliberate practice left me feeling focused, composed, and fully prepared for the day. Now, shadow. I sat in quiet reflection. I used that interval with intention. Brief practice left me feeling focused, composed, prepared. These are authentic and elegant sentences that build narrative fluency. Now, imagine you are articulating the value of shadowing as a methodology. Listen. Shadowing is extraordinarily valuable to me because it conditions my brain to process English with the rhythm and flow of natural discourse. I do not simply acquire isolated words. I internalize the architecture, the prosody, and the organic connections that characterize fluent expression. Now, shadow. Shadowing conditions my brain to process English with rhythm and flow. I internalize architecture, prosody, organic connections. This develops a sophisticated awareness of spoken language. Now, let's go into another daily life scene. You are engaged with authentic English content online and learning from it actively. Listen. When I engage with video content in English, I attend closely to the expressive choices the speakers make. I mentally echo phrases that strike me as particularly effective and later practice incorporating them into my own expression. Now, shadow. I attend closely to expressive choices. I mentally echo effective phrases. I practice incorporating them into my own expression. This cultivates a natural and perceptive approach to language acquisition. Now, imagine you are walking as dusk settles, reflecting on the day and on your development. Listen. I am taking a measured walk as the evening settles in. The quality of light is warm and golden, and I am contemplating how I intend to continue advancing my English tomorrow. Now, shadow. I am taking a measured walk. The light is warm and golden. I am contemplating my continued advancement. Descriptive sentences like these train both your imagination and your fluency in seamless combination. Now picture someone asking why English holds such significance for you. Listen. English is significant to me because it is a key that unlocks an extraordinary range of opportunity. It enables me to communicate across cultural and geographic boundaries, access knowledge, and engage with the world with far greater breadth and depth. Now, shadow. English is a key that unlocks opportunity. It enables me to communicate across boundaries. It broadens my access to knowledge and the world. This builds motivated and purposeful expression. Now, let's practice articulating your relationship with difficulty in learning. Listen. There are days when the process of learning presents a genuine challenge, but I consistently remind myself that each difficulty I navigate is contributing meaningfully to my development. Every challenge strengthens and refines my capacity. Now, shadow. Challenges contribute meaningfully to my development. Every difficulty strengthens and refines my capacity. These expressions convey strength, resilience, and intellectual maturity. Now, imagine you are describing the evolution of your listening comprehension in depth. Listen. My listening comprehension has developed considerably because I have learned to attend to global meaning, register, and emotional tone rather than attempting to decode each word in isolation. This broader perspective enables me to comprehend far more naturally and confidently. Now, shadow. I attend to global meaning, register, emotional tone. I do not decode word by word. This broader perspective enables me to comprehend naturally and confidently. This builds a genuinely sophisticated listening strategy. Let's create a moment in which you reflect on the growth of your speaking confidence. Listen. I used to approach speaking with real apprehension, but now I engage with a sense of genuine composure and willingness. I have come to understand that every attempt is a step forward, regardless of imperfection. Shadow it. I approach speaking with composure and willingness. Every attempt is a step forward, regardless of imperfection. This builds real courage and advanced expressive fluency simultaneously. Now, imagine yourself concluding your evening with a final, quiet reflection. Listen. I like to close my day by acknowledging the progress I have achieved. Even the most incremental advancement is evidence that I am moving in the right direction with sustained intention and commitment. Now, shadow softlies. I acknowledge my progress. Even incremental advancement is evidence of movement in the right direction. This deepens your emotional connection to learning. Now, let's add another advanced sequence. Recently, I have been approaching my practice with greater intentionality. I select activities that push the edges of my competence. Listen with active and analytical attention, and make a conscious effort to deploy sophisticated vocabulary in authentic contexts. It accelerates my development considerably and enriches the naturalness of my communication. Now, shadow. I approach practice with intentionality. I push the edges of my competence. I listen analytically. I deploy sophisticated vocabulary in authentic contexts. These lines strengthen your capacity to discuss strategy and growth with genuine authority. Now, imagine you are speaking with someone about the virtue of patience in language development. Listen. I sustain my patience by accepting that meaningful development unfolds over time. Every skill is refined gradually, and every deliberate moment of practice carries genuine weight. Now, shadow. Development unfolds over time. Skills are refined gradually. Every moment of deliberate practice carries genuine weight. These composed sentences build a grounded and fluent mindset. You are building your fluency with remarkable steadiness, and your commitment is propelling you toward a more confident, more articulate, more sophisticated level of English with every minute we practice together. As your practice deepens, I want you to observe how the language is settling with increasing ease and comfort inside you. You are not simply processing words, you are feeling the rhythm, the natural pausing, the organic flow of authentic English discourse. This slow and steady development is what builds durable and lasting fluency. And you are doing it right now by remaining present, composed, and fully committed. Now, imagine someone asks how English serves you in your everyday life. Listen. English empowers me to express myself with clarity and conviction. It gives me the confidence to engage meaningfully with people from remarkably diverse backgrounds and enables me to access a far broader range of knowledge and experience. Now shadow it softly. English empowers me to express myself with clarity and conviction. It gives me confidence. It enables me to engage and to access knowledge. These are natural and impactful sentences for everyday discourse. Now, imagine you are contemplating your long-term vision. Listen. One of my most significant long-term aspirations is to be a truly fluent English speaker, someone who navigates any communicative situation with natural authority and ease. I want to deploy sophisticated vocabulary instinctively and articulate complex thoughts with elegance and precision. Now, shadow. My long-term aspiration is genuine fluency and natural authority. I want to deploy sophisticated vocabulary instinctively. I want to articulate complex thoughts with elegance. This builds clarity and intellectual ambition in your expression. Let's create another daily life moment. You are preparing a meal and choosing to engage your mind productively. Listen. I am preparing a meal right now, and as I do, I am practicing English internally with real intention. I am narrating my actions, observing my surroundings, and using this time to reinforce my mental engagement with the language. Now, shadow. I am preparing a meal. I practice English internally. I narrate my actions. I observe my surroundings. I reinforce my mental engagement with the language. This develops internal fluency through reflective narration. Now, imagine someone asks why you commit to daily practice. Listen. I practice every day because I want English to feel entirely natural. I want it to function as a language I inhabit, not merely one I have studied. Now, shadow. I practice every day. I want English to feel entirely natural, a language I inhabit, not merely one I have studied. This develops a deep and emotionally resonant expressive fluency. Now let's practice describing a moment of genuine motivation. Listen. Today, I felt a surge of motivation because I recognized that I had navigated a conversational exchange that would previously have caused me real difficulty. It was a powerful affirmation that progress is real and continuous. Now, shadow. I felt a surge of motivation. I navigated an exchange that previously caused difficulty. Progress is real and continuous. These patterns allow you to express growth with authenticity and precision. Let's go deeper into an advanced practice. I have come to recognize that my English develops most profoundly when I engage with the language with full intention, when I listen with acute attention, shadow with genuine focus, and speak with openness and absence of fear. Now, shadow. I develop most profoundly with full intention. I listen acutely. I shadow with genuine focus. I speak with openness and without fear. This builds your capacity to discuss your learning with sophistication and self-awareness. Now imagine a peaceful moment in the early evening. Listen. The evening carries a welcome tranquility, and I am using this interval to relax and engage with a little more practice. Even these brief and quiet moments sustain my connection to the language in a meaningful way. Now, Shadow. The evening carries tranquility. I relax. I engage with more practice. Brief and quiet moments sustain my connection meaningfully. This builds a gentle and integrated fluency rhythm. Now imagine someone asks how you sustain your consistency. Listen. I sustain consistency by building small but deliberate habits. A brief engagement in the morning, a moment of focused practice during the day, and a reflective session before I sleep. These incremental habits compound into remarkable progress over time. Now, shadow. I build small, deliberate habits. Morning engagement, focused practice during the day, reflection before sleep. These habits compound into remarkable progress. This reinforces discipline and advanced self-expression. Now picture yourself becoming aware of a new and sophisticated word or expression in natural context. Listen. When I encounter an unfamiliar expression, I pay close attention to the way it functions within the broader sentence. I observe the register, the connotation, and the emotional weight it carries. Now, shadow. I pay attention to how unfamiliar expressions function. I observe register, connotation, emotional weight. This develops a sophisticated and nuanced vocabulary acquisition strategy. Now, imagine someone invites your reflection on how your confidence has evolved. Listen. I feel considerably more assured now. I think less about achieving grammatical perfection and more about conveying my ideas with impact and clarity. Effective communication is my primary objective, and that shift in focus has transformed my fluency. Now, shadow. I feel considerably more assured. I focus on conveying ideas with impact and clarity. Effective communication is my primary objective. That shift has transformed my fluency. This builds deeply natural communicative competence. Now we continue with another thoughtful practice. I am developing a growing trust in my own voice. I am becoming less preoccupied with imperfection and increasingly committed to communicating with transparency, authenticity, and genuine confidence. Now, shadow. I trust my own voice. I am less preoccupied with imperfection. I am committed to transparency, authenticity, genuine confidence. This creates a powerful emotional connection with your speaking journey. Now imagine you are preparing for sleep while reflecting on the day's practice. Listen. As I prepare for sleep, I allow myself a quiet moment to acknowledge the English I engaged with today. And even if the session was modest, I feel a genuine sense of pride in the commitment I have maintained. Now, shadow. I prepare for sleep. I acknowledge today's practice. Even a modest session fills me with genuine pride in my commitment. This closes the day with motivation and meaningful self-appreciation. Now, picture someone asking how you respond when unfamiliar vocabulary presents a challenge. Listen. When I encounter particularly challenging vocabulary, I resist the impulse to become discouraged. I draw on contextual clues to infer meaning. And if understanding eludes me entirely, I remind myself that gradual acquisition is not only acceptable, but entirely natural. Now, shadow. I resist discouragement. I draw on contextual clues. I remind myself that gradual acquisition is entirely natural. This builds genuine emotional resilience. Now, imagine you are reflecting on your development with someone who is curious. Listen. I have noticed that my expression is becoming considerably more fluid. My sentences emerge with greater ease and natural flow, and I pause far less than I once did. Now, shadow. My expression is becoming more fluid. Sentences emerge with greater ease. I pause far less than before. This helps you speak about your improvement with clarity and precision. Now, let's add an advanced and reflective sequence. Developing a language is an extended and deeply personal journey, but every moment of deliberate engagement brings you measurably closer to the communicative mastery you are working toward. And the knowledge of that sustained progress motivates me profoundly every single day. Now, shadow. Language development is extended and deeply personal. Every moment of deliberate engagement brings me closer to communicative mastery. That knowledge motivates me profoundly. This builds genuinely inspirational fluency. You are doing extraordinarily well. And with every sentence you shadow, your English grows stronger, more refined, and more authentically confident. As we continue practicing together, I want you to feel how your confidence is gradually becoming a natural and inseparable part of your English. Every sentence you shadow strengthens your expressive muscles. Every phrase you internalize teaches your brain a new and sophisticated rhythm. And every moment you remain present here deepens your fluency and makes it more instinctive and more lasting. You are learning, advancing, and genuinely transforming with every single word. Now imagine someone asks how English feels to you at this stage in your development. Listen. English makes me feel genuinely connected to the wider world. It enables me to express myself with clarity and sophistication, and gives me access to perspectives and ideas from an extraordinary range of cultures and backgrounds. Now shadow it gently. English connects me to the wider world. It enables me to express myself with clarity and sophistication. It gives me access to diverse perspectives. These lines deepen both your emotional and intellectual engagement with the language. Now imagine a composed and focused morning moment. You are preparing for the day with purpose. Listen. I am preparing myself for the day, and even in these early and quiet moments, English enters my thoughts with ease. I am mentally organizing my plans, rehearsing expressions, and readying myself to communicate with authority and clarity. Now, shadow. I am preparing for the day. English enters my thoughts with ease. I mentally organize my plans. I rehearse expressions. I ready myself to communicate with authority. This builds a sophisticated internal thought fluency. Now imagine someone asks how you sustain confidence in speaking. Listen. I sustain my confidence by remembering that communication is the fundamental objective, not the performance of perfection. Provided I express myself with clarity and genuine intent, I am fulfilling the essential purpose of language. Now, shadow. Communication is the fundamental objective, not perfection. Provided I am clear and genuine, I fulfill the purpose of language. This develops a balanced and emotionally mature communicative mindset. Now, let's practice a more developed descriptive scene. You are in an open space, perhaps a park or a square, observing the environment with attentive eyes. Listen. I am here and I am observing everything around me with genuine attention. The rhythm of movement, the layered soundscape, the fragments of conversation that drift past me. And I am using every detail to sharpen my listening sensitivity and my descriptive expression. Now, shadow. I am observing everything with attention. I notice the rhythm, the soundscape, the fragments of conversation. I use every detail to sharpen my sensitivity and expression. This develops a sophisticated and analytical descriptive voice. Now imagine you are reflecting on your personal development as a learner and communicator. Listen, when I look back with genuine honesty, I can recognize how profoundly I have grown. I express myself with considerably greater ease. I hesitate far less. And I communicate with a level of confidence and fluency that once seemed genuinely beyond reach. Shadow. I have grown profoundly. I express myself with greater ease. I hesitate less. I communicate with confidence that once seemed beyond reach. These lines cultivate honest and sophisticated self-expression. Now imagine someone asks, what continues to inspire you to keep developing? Listen, I feel inspired by the recognition that even subtle progress is meaningful. A sophisticated expression I grasp instinctively. A sentence I articulate with real fluency. A moment of confident and natural expression. Now, shadow. I feel inspired by subtle progress, by expressions I grasp instinctively, by sentences I articulate with fluency, by moments of confident expression. This builds genuinely motivational fluency. Now, picture yourself concluding your working day and preparing to rest. Listen. I am concluding my day, and I feel a genuine sense of satisfaction that I continued to engage with English, even through the demands of a full schedule. These deliberate small moments reinforce my commitment and sustain my momentum. Now, shadow. I am concluding my day. I engaged with English through the demands of my schedule. These moments reinforce my commitment and sustain my momentum. This strengthens both discipline and expressive sophistication. Now imagine someone asks how you approach challenging pronunciation. Listen. When I encounter a phonological challenge, I slow my delivery deliberately. I repeat the sound with careful attention. And I allow my articulatory mechanism to learn the movement through gentle and patient repetition. Now, shadow. I slow my delivery deliberately. I repeat with careful attention. I allow my articulatory mechanism to learn through patient repetition. This builds a precise and conscious speaking awareness. Now, practice another extended and emotionally resonant sequence. There are days of remarkable ease, and there are days of genuine difficulty. But I persist through both because I know I am constructing something of profound importance: my future fluency, my future authority, my future voice in English. Now, shadow. Some days are easy, some are genuinely difficult. I persist through both. I am constructing my future fluency, my authority, my voice. This creates a deeply resonant and emotionally sophisticated fluency. Now imagine a quiet afternoon in which you allow your mind to rest and reflect in English. Listen. I am resting for a moment, and with remarkable ease, my mind begins to think in English. Simple thoughts, straightforward reflections, but still, they reinforce my connection to the language in a meaningful and consistent way. Now, shadow. I am resting. My mind thinks in English with ease. Simple thoughts reinforce my connection meaningfully. This builds a powerful and integrated mental structure. Now, imagine someone invites you to share how you practice speaking when you are alone. Listen. When I have privacy, I engage in deliberate and purposeful self-directed speech. I articulate what I am doing, reflect on how I am feeling, and sometimes mentally rehearse conversations I anticipate having. It sustains my fluency, even in the absence of a speaking partner. Now, shadow. I engage in deliberate, self-directed speech. I articulate what I am doing, how I am feeling, conversations I anticipate. It sustains my fluency. This develops self-practice expression with sophistication. Now, imagine you are contemplating the next level of your development. Listen. I am genuinely excited about what lies ahead. I want to communicate with seamless fluency, comprehend with real depth, and express myself with the kind of precision and elegance that defines an advanced speaker. Now, shadow. I am genuinely excited. I want to communicate with seamless fluency, comprehend with depth, express with precision and elegance. This builds a sophisticated and forward-looking expressive register. Now, let's continue with another thoughtful and layered practice. I am learning to find meaning in incremental achievements, a more elegant sentence, a faster and more accurate response, a moment of instinctive comprehension. Each small victory moves me closer to the fluency I am working to achieve. Now, shadow. I find meaning in incremental achievements, more elegant sentences, faster responses, instinctive comprehension. Each small victory moves me closer. This deepens your reflective and sophisticated fluency. Now, imagine you are concluding the day with a sense of genuine gratitude. Listen. I feel genuinely grateful for the time I invested in learning today. It may not have been extensive, it may not have been flawless, but it was purposeful, and purposeful practice invariably yields meaningful results. Now, shadow. I feel genuinely grateful. Today's practice was purposeful. Purposeful practice invariably yields meaningful results. These lines build emotional stability and lasting motivation. Now imagine someone asks, "What sustains your perseverance?" Listen. What sustains my perseverance is the unshakable belief that fluency is entirely attainable. not merely for others, but for me. And with each day of deliberate practice, I draw measurably closer to that reality. Now, shadow. Fluency is entirely attainable for me. Each day of deliberate practice draws me measurably closer. This reinforces deep and authentic self-belief. Every sentence you shadow strengthens your foundation. You are becoming clearer, steadier, and considerably more confident and articulate in your English communication. And the progress you are making is genuine, powerful, and enduring. As we continue moving forward, I want you to feel how English is settling with increasing depth and naturalness into your daily rhythm. You are no longer forcing yourself to think in English. It is beginning to arise organically, gently, and with growing ease. This stage is of profound importance because it signals that your cognitive patterns are adapting, your confidence is consolidating, and your fluency is gradually becoming an authentic dimension of who you are. Now, imagine someone asks how you remain composed when speaking English. Listen. I remain composed by reminding myself that communication is a skill, not a performance to be judged. I do not require perfection. I require clarity, authenticity, and genuine engagement with the person I am addressing. Now, shadow. Communication is a skill, not a performance. I do not require perfection. I require clarity, authenticity, genuine engagement. These lines establish a profoundly strong foundation for emotional and communicative fluency. Now, imagine you are in a quiet space reviewing your thoughts with calm attention. Listen. I am sitting here in stillness, reflecting on my development. I can feel that my comprehension is becoming more acute and my expression is becoming more natural and effortless with every session. Now, shadow. I am sitting in stillness. My comprehension is becoming more acute. My expression is becoming more natural and effortless. This builds composed and sophisticated reflective expression. Now picture someone asking how you integrate English into your daily responsibilities. Listen. I try to weave English into the texture of my day with genuine intention. I listen attentively while managing household tasks. I think in English during my commute, and I practice brief but deliberate sentences whenever the opportunity arises. Now, shadow. I weave English into my day with intention. I listen during tasks. I think in English during my commute. I practice whenever the opportunity arises. This builds natural and deeply integrated vocabulary and fluency. Now imagine a moment in which you experience genuine and meaningful pride at a small but significant success. Listen. Today, I successfully navigated an expression that had previously eluded me. It was a modest but meaningful victory, and it reaffirmed for me that every moment of deliberate engagement produces real results. Now, shadow. I navigated an expression that had eluded me. A modest but meaningful victory. Every moment of deliberate engagement produces real results. These lines cultivate advanced emotional and expressive awareness. Now, let's practice a more sophisticated and analytical conversation. I am developing a genuine capacity to attend to the nuanced flow of English, the way sentences rise and fall in pitch, the way speakers connect ideas with coherence and intention, and the way emotion inflects and enriches tone throughout discourse. Now, Shadow. I attend to the nuanced flow of English, to rising and falling pitch, to coherent, connected ideas, to emotion in tone. This deepens advanced listening comprehension in a profound and lasting way. Now imagine someone asks why speaking practice is so central to your development. Listen. Speaking practice is fundamental because it trains my cognitive and articulatory systems to work in synchrony. It teaches my mouth to produce sounds with accuracy and fluency, and accelerates the neural pathways that enable authentic, real-time communication. Now, shadow. Speaking trains cognitive and articulatory systems. My mouth produces sounds with accuracy. Neural pathways for real-time communication are accelerated. This cultivates a sophisticated physical and intellectual awareness of speaking. Now, imagine you are settled somewhere comfortable, perhaps with something warm to drink, engaged in quiet and focused practice. Listen. This moment of tranquility is ideal for deepening my engagement with English. I am relaxed, attuned, and genuinely open to absorbing what I hear. And these calm and deliberate moments allow the language to integrate more profoundly. Now, shadow. This moment is ideal for deepening my engagement. I am relaxed, attuned, genuinely open. The language integrates more profoundly. This builds a gentle and deeply effective learning rhythm. Now, imagine you are speaking about how you navigate frustration. Listen. When I experience frustration, I remind myself that genuine acquisition is a gradual process. I do not pressure myself to advance at an unrealistic pace. I do not expect perfection. I simply continue forward with composure and commitment. Now, shadow. Acquisition is gradual. I do not pressure myself. I do not expect perfection. I continue with composure and commitment. This builds lasting emotional resilience. Now, practice describing another daily life scene. You are walking through a busy and dynamic environment. Listen. I am moving through a lively street and absorbing the sounds and energy of my surroundings. Even though the conversations around me are not in English, my mind instinctively attempts to translate and articulate the experience in English. Now, shadow. I am moving through a lively street. I absorb the sounds and energy. My mind instinctively articulates the experience in English. This develops internal narration fluency in a sophisticated and natural way. Now imagine someone asks what you do when you lose a specific phrase mid-conversation. Listen. When a phrase escapes me mid-conversation, I simply pivot to a simpler and clearer alternative expression. I maintain the flow of the conversation because sustained communication is always more valuable than the pursuit of lexical perfection. Now, shadow. I pivot to a simpler alternative. I maintain the flow. Sustained communication is more valuable than lexical perfection. These lines train genuinely flexible and confident speech. Now, let's go deeper into another advanced and contemplative practice. I have come to understand that fluency develops most powerfully when I approach my practice with consistency, with genuine self-compassion, and with a willingness to absorb the language naturally rather than forcing it. I allow my development to unfold organically. Now, shadow. Fluency develops with consistency, self-compassion, willingness to absorb naturally. I allow my development to unfold organically. This reflects a genuinely mature and sophisticated approach to language acquisition. Now imagine you are looking ahead with optimism and clarity. Listen. Tomorrow, I intend to engage with English with even greater intentionality. I want to articulate with precision, take considered communicative risks, and embrace the occasional imperfection as evidence of genuine and meaningful growth. Now, shadow. Tomorrow, I intend to engage with greater intentionality. I want to articulate with precision. I take considered risks. I embrace imperfection as evidence of growth. This strengthens forward-looking and sophisticated fluency. Now imagine you are concluding a meaningful conversation. Listen. I found this exchange genuinely enriching. It gave me the opportunity to practice, to learn, and to connect with real depth. I feel a meaningful sense of satisfaction and growing confidence. Now, shadow. I found this exchange genuinely enriching. I practiced. I learned. I connected with depth. I feel satisfaction and growing confidence. This builds authentic and natural social fluency. Now imagine you are closing your day with genuine self-appreciation. Listen. I am ending my day with a deep sense of gratitude for the effort I invested. It may appear modest to an outside observer, but it feels profoundly meaningful to me, and that is what matters. Now, shadow. I feel deep gratitude. My effort was profoundly meaningful to me. That is what matters. This builds a genuinely sophisticated and emotionally resonant expression. Now, let's practice another advanced descriptive moment. I am developing the capacity to observe how different speakers express themselves with their own distinct and individual authority. Some speak with measured deliberation. Some with rapid and energetic expression. Some with elegant simplicity. Others with rich complexity. And each one teaches me something invaluable about the remarkable range and depth of English. Now, shadow. I observe speakers with distinct authority. Fast, deliberate, simple, complex. Each teaches me something invaluable. This advances your conversational analysis to a sophisticated level. Every moment you invest here is helping you forge a richer, more confident, more sophisticated English-speaking identity. You are advancing steadily toward a more fluid, more precise, and more genuinely natural level of fluency. And your unwavering dedication is guiding you forward with real power and momentum. As we continue moving toward the close of our practice, I want you to feel how English is gradually becoming a true comfort zone for your thoughts. You are no longer searching for the right words. You are beginning to let your mind breathe and express itself in English. And this gentle but powerful transformation is exactly what produces lasting and authentic fluency. You are growing with every moment you choose to practice, and that growth is becoming more instinctive and more deeply embedded with every sentence you shadow. Now imagine someone asks how English has transformed your confidence. Listen. English has given me a profound sense of capability. It has equipped me with the ability to express myself with precision and sophistication, and to engage with people from an extraordinary range of cultural backgrounds with real depth and authenticity.
This is English in Native Voice. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next lesson.